Zaid Atkinson,
a college student who on the 1st of March 2019 was confronted by Officer John Smiley, a 14-year veteran.
I told you many times to put it down.
And you're holding a gun!
Put it down.
Sometimes, police officers believe that they can do whatever they want, and so they do it. But what happens when the people they harass decide to take action? Zaid Atkinson, a college student who on the 1st of March 2019 was confronted by Officer John Smiley, a 14-year veteran with Boulder Police, as he was picking up trash outside his home.
I couldn't help but notice you just sitting on the patio out there.
What's that?
I couldn't help but notice you sitting on the patio behind this building.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's signs for no trespassing, private property,
here.
that kind of thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were doing, if you lived here or you worked here.
Yeah,
It looks like you're working, doing something, picking stuff up.
I work here.
Okay, gotcha. What's the actual address then? Okay, what unit are you in?
I don't think I have to actually tell you that.
Well, I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here, that's
Well,
all.
I just told you I lived here.
Okay.
And I told you that I'm working as well.
Okay.
Should that be enough for you?
Well, I gotta verify it, just so I know that you
Why
do
is-
in fact live here.
Kidding me? What do you need from me?
If you have an ID with your address on it, that'd be great.
I don't believe you, man.
As soon as the interaction starts, we can see Officer Smiley asking whether Atkinson lives on the property and then asking for identification. Atkinson gave Smiley his student identification showing certain annoyance, but the officer was not satisfied because the card didn't show his home address, and he didn't believe him.
Do you have anything with your address on it?
Yo, look, man. Here,
Hey,
why don't you follow
Just
me
relax.
and I'll just fucking leave the building, dude.
Just chill out, man.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
I'm just asking you if you have something with your address on it, then that would help me.
No, I don't. How am I
Okay.
supposed to have something with my address
Well,
on it?
a lot of people have a driver's license.
They just carry something with their address on it?
Yeah, an ID.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Yeah. So, Mr. Atkinson, can I get your date of birth, please?
Why?
I just need to verify who you are, that you belong here, that you have a right to be here, okay?
Are you kidding me, man?
Can you have a seat, please?
No.
Mr. Atkinson.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
290 code 12. Can you please have a seat?
No.
Put that down. Stop.
Having provided his ID, Atkinson even suggests that Smiley escort him to the building to confirm, but the officer ignores him and continues to question him. The frustrated 26-year-old simply stopped listening to the officer and instead continued walking around the residence, just picking up trash.
Mr. Atkinson, right now you're obstructing a police officer, which is a jailable offense. I'm asking you one more time to sit down.
I'm not doing anything wrong. And you're not going to arrest me. You're not going to do anything. Because I live here. And I didn't do anything wrong.
Last chance, sir.
For what?
Have a seat.
For what?
Sit down. Right now I'm detaining you and investigating you for a trespass.
I fucking live here, dumbass.
Sit down. Sit down.
No.
At this point, the situation has become hostile, and Atkinson instead decides just to keep picking up trash whilst arguing with Smiley, who kept following him until they reached the rear of the building, where Smiley showed the kind of police officer he is.
You have a dangerous object in your hand and you're failing to put it down.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down.
You're
being detained.
Your hand is on your weapon, and you're gonna shoot me? That's what you're gonna do, officer?
290, we're still
You're gonna
behind
shoot a resident
2333
on his
Folsom.
property for
Subject
picking up
is failing to
trash.
comply.
That's what you're gonna do, officer?
Sit down, sir.
Why don't you use your brain?
I asked you several times.
Use your intelligence. Are you gonna kill me?
Several times I've asked
Your hand
you.
is on your weapon.
Yes,
I feel
it is.
threatened. That's
I
a fucking
threatened
gun.
because you're not
That's a
putting that
gun.
down. Yes, it is.
I'm picking up trash.
Put it down. I
I'm
told you
picking
many
up
times to
trash.
put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Put it down.
And you're holding a gun.
Sir, put it down.
And you're holding a gun. Dude, you're not gonna get away with murder. You're not. Not today.
290, it's
Not
going to be
today.
Arapaho.
You're not gonna get away with murder.
Sit down.
I'm not sitting down.
Look, I don't want this to go any further, but you need to
You're
comply
gonna
with my
shoot me?
orders.
I don't have a weapon.
That's a weapon.
This is a bucket.
No, that's a weapon.
This
Right there.
is a clamper for picking up garbage, sir.
Put it down. I'm telling you, I'm threatened
It's
by
not
it.
a weapon. You're not threatened. I'm threatened. You have a fucking gun. That
Sit down, sir.
Dude, no. Keep that.
Sit
that on
down.
camera. He's got a gun in his hand.
Without any type of justification, as is clearly seen in the body cam footage, Officer Smiley stupidly declares he feels threatened by the trash picker Atkinson carries and decides to pull out his gun. Pulling out a gun during an argument is sure to make just about anybody feel frightened, especially if you're being racially profiled. And if you thought things would ease when more reasonable and emphatic officers arrived a few minutes later and explained to Smiley that what he was doing was wrong, well, you're absolutely wrong about that.
He's got a gun.
Sit down.
Gun. He's got a gun.
Have a seat.
He's got a gun. He's
Sit
got
down.
a gun. What do you mean? This is my property. This is
290,
my
we're
house.
still
I
giving him
live
verbal
here.
commands, trying to get him to comply. Sit down and drop that object.
I don't have to do
Sit
anything.
down and drop it.
I'm on duty doing my work and my job, and this officer comes over here and
Drop the object.
Just relax. Are you serious? Just relax. Video. Look at that. No, I'm not doing anything.
Have a seat. Drop it.
I'm not
Drop
living
it.
here.
Drop it.
Why do you all four of them look, dude? All four.
The police are telling you to do something. Do it.
You have a gun in your hand.
Yes, I do, because you're not listening.
You have a fucking gun
You
in
have
your
a
hand.
weapon.
I don't have a
Drop the weapon. Drop it.
I don't have a weapon.
Drop it now.
Focus on me. What are you doing? Focus no, what do you mean? Focus
Drop
on
it
you. There's
now.
fucking 6 of you.
Just drop it.
Really? This is my property.
We're not going anywhere. You
I
need to
live
drop
here.
it.
I
I haven't
live here.
confirmed that yet.
I live here.
I told you I'm
This is my
investigating a
home. You know what?
trespass.
I fucking live
You
here.
didn't give me your address. That's the first time.
All
Have a
of
seat.
you are fucking threatening me on my property. I live here.
Hey, listen.
I'm a resident
The first thing
of
you need
this
to
fucking
drop
property.
that
I'm
item.
picking up garbage from my fucking dorm. I go to school here.
Drop it. Just
I go
drop
to
it and
school
sit.
Here. Don't fucking tell me what to do. You guys don't have a goddamn fucking right to be doing this to me.
Sit down
I'm a
and drop
citizen
it.
of this country.
Sit
I
down.
fucking pay my taxes. I am a student, and all of you have weapons drawn, and I
Sit
feel
down.
threatened.
Sit down and drop that
No.
object.
I will not sit down. I refuse to sit down until you guys put your fucking weapons away.
Alright, watch this. Watch
Put your goddamn weapons away.
right there. Can we talk?
Put your fucking gun away.
At least 5 new officers arrived on the scene, and what's absolutely dismaying is that every single one of them considered this poor man a threat and pulled out their guns, a man picking up trash. Then, while the arguments continued, another police officer who had entered the building came out and let our friendly cop, Smiley, know how in the wrong he was.
Okay, these nice people here told me that you are a resident.
Oh, wow.
So Zay,
What a fucking
that's what we were
surprise.
trying to find out. Okay,
What a fucking surprise. I gave him my ID,
okay.
and then he started taking down my fucking information, telling me this, that, and the other thing. And then I walk away, and he pulls his fucking taser out
So
on me.
Zayd, I'm listening to you, and I just appreciate it if you do so. So Zayd, if you were willing to sit down, this would bring everything down a little bit, and we could start
I
going down, figuring
I
things out.
do not feel comfortable sitting down around a bunch of fucking murderers.
Okay. Here,
I gave him my ID. He knew who I was. I said my name was Zayd Atkinson.
Okay.
I gave him my ID. He asked me what the address was. I said, let me walk up to the door and beat myself into the building. And he refused to let me walk to my house.
okay, Zayd. I'm hearing what
How
you're
is that okay?
So
How is that okay?
I'm understanding you're upset.
What do you mean you're
290.
understanding I'm upset? He came out with a shotgun. Of course I'm upset. He pulled out his
He has
gun
dropped his weapon.
and said that I'm a
We're currently
threat.
trying to get him to comply.
On my own property, I'm a threat because I'm picking up
Okay,
garbage.
take a step back or two from me, okay, so that I can feel.
Why don't you get off my property?
Okay.
Why don't you get off my property?
What I'm trying to resolve.
Why don't you get off my property and stop telling me what to do at my fucking house? How about that?
If you were willing to sit down, we could talk.
I'm not sitting down.
Okay.
Why don't you go home, officer?
Right.
And why don't you guys go find some real criminals instead of wasting my goddamn time? How about that? I fucking live here. You think this is a joke? I fucking live here. You were ready to shoot me down. And you didn't know a goddamn thing. You're wasting all our fucking resources.
I didn't even point my gun
You're
at you,
wasting
sir.
all our resources. There's people out there actually committing crimes.
Like, can I
How do
tell
you
you something?
feel?
Can I
How
tell
do
you something?
feel? You're ready to jump out of your skin because you know you fucking made a dumb mistake today.
Can I tell you something?
No. I don't want to hear it. I
Okay.
want you to get
Why
off
don't
my
you talk to
property.
my partner?
I don't want to talk to any of
Right
you
now, I need you to
boys.
sit down
I
so
want
we
you
can
guys
figure
to
it
get
out.
off my property and stop wasting my fucking time.
That's not going to happen until I confirm who you are and what you're doing.
The officer also wanted Atkinson to provide his details, even though he had already confirmed that the young man lived in the house. However, Atkinson refused to cooperate. Shortly afterward, Smiley is seen in conversation with another officer who appears to be his supervisor, discussing the situation.
I saw him sitting here
Yeah, you need to tell me who the
in
you
this
are.
area, saw the
What's your
private
name?
property sign. Thought maybe he wasn't really doing anything. He was kind of milling about, then he'd come back down, sit, milling about, come back down to sit. And then when I came into the alley, he stood up and I saw that he had that metal thing, and it looked like he was kind of banging it, like against the, so I wasn't sure if he's like trying to damage something or, and then I addressed him, and then he proceeded to walk around here, and I saw it was like a device for picking up trash, and he was picking up trash. So I contacted him and just asked him, hey, can I let me chat with you? I'm just checking to make sure that you have a right to be here. And then he initially talks to me, I ask him why he's here, and he says he lives here and works here, and I ask him for the address, and he turns and reads it off of the building.
Okay.
And he won't tell me his apartment number. He gives me like some kind of school ID, but it doesn't have a date of birth, so I ask him for his date of birth.
Do you get it?
No. At that point, he refuses, and he starts walking away, picks up that metal object and the bucket and walks away from me. I just follow him at a distance until cover gets here.
Okay.
After giving his side of the story, which of course is completely different from what we can actually see in the body cam footage, Officer Smiley is notified that everything Atkinson has been declaring is true, as it was confirmed by the owner of the building. To bring something funny out of a disgusting situation like this, Officer Smiley, embarrassed about the situation, immediately muted his body cam when he realized his mistake. The fact remains, however, that if officers can alter recordings, it defeats the whole purpose of putting cameras on a cop in the first place.
So we confirmed that he lives here, right?
No,
Well, he just did.
Okay.
Parker just did. He confirmed that he lives here.
according to him, he lives here. He just provided a unit number finally. I don't have a date of birth. I don't know who he is.
Okay. All right. So let's. You got his information in terms of his name and all that.
I just have his name.
Okay. Then give him his
You're a
ID
fucking
back, and then we're out of
jackass.
here. Yeah, because we
You're a
already confirmed he's
jackass.
there, and this
You got the
gentleman
wrong
here just said,
person.
yeah, he works here and lives here. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. I think he just.
Smiley subsequently resigned from his position before facing suspension or termination, while Boulder agreed to compensate Atkinson with a reported $125,000 settlement for the incident. I personally think he should have received that exact amount from each cop that pulled out their gun. But if you thought corrupt cops getting destroyed stops here,